law in Oklahoma is stopping an effort to boost the minimum wage, and it's drawing a lot of criticism. 2 News anchor Stephen Romo continues our coverage tonight. Stephen?
Russ, yes, Governor Mary Fallin signed a bill into law this week stopping cities in Oklahoma from raising their own minimum wage. Now, supporters say it just makes sense to keep wages consistent throughout the state, but critics, including people making minimum wage, say it is just unreasonable. The idea of raising the minimum wage is getting a lot of attention nationwide, but there's not a lot of suspense on whether cities in Oklahoma will raise the minimum pay. A new law bans communities from raising the rate above the state's $7.25 an hour.
You can't make it on that, but with the cost of food going up and the cost of medicine, I know myself I'm paying $350 a month on medicine.
Jan Hills worked many jobs at minimum wage. She's able to make more through working overtime, but she says it is not easy. She works 6 days a week, and her son's in an even more difficult situation.
My son is struggling. They're on minimum wage. And they got 3 kids.
Data from MIT looks at the living wage, meaning the amount needed to keep a normal standard of living without relying on government assistance. For Tulsa County, that is $8.45 an hour for one adult. For one adult and one child, that jumps to $17.31 needed to reach the living wage. None of the businesses we talked to wanted to go on camera, but a few told us paying their employees more could mean eliminating positions. Jan says she thinks most people are like her. They'll do what they have to make ends meet, but at the current minimum pay, it can seem impossible.
I'm not afraid to work, and sometimes I was doing 2-3 jobs, so I could make up for that loss.
Now, there was a bill in Oklahoma City gaining momentum that would have boosted pay to $10.10 an hour, but the new state law stops that in its tracks. Coming up at 6, hear what charitable organizations say about how the minimum wage affects them. Stephen Romo, 2 News works for you.
All right, Stephen, thanks. 2 News going in depth tonight. Back in 1968, the minimum wage was $1.60 an hour. That according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Now, fast forward to today, and that number is the equivalent of $10.74 an hour when you price in the cost of inflation.
Demonstrators fighting for the state to retain a key rail line